Welcome back to Indian Trace. Don't have any problem dealing with the half mud. Believe me, that's half mud. A lot of you see a lot of mud, but that's half mud. Because there's artifacts out here. Notchville's at a great place. Partly cloudy out today, windy. Look at this, I just pulled these up, and I know I didn't film them, but I got another piece in the ground we gotta check out. Look at this, will you? Craziness. It begins again. So join the hunt here with Indian Trace. I'm gonna walk down, we'll probably get a live find. I've been finding finds about every pass down. Like I said, it's so true. After location comes conditions, circumstance. You just need to know who was there. If you know who was there, you know what is there. It hasn't moved. We got the accumulation. Look at this, Guilford. The accumulation of hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years of occupation on a site for whatever reason. Hunting site, kill site, or occupation site. Look at these points right here in quartz. Mercy, right? And then a scraper. Just coming out of the ground. And right beyond my marker here, I've got another piece there. Oh, I almost fell on my face. Anyway, so that's some great finds going on right there. I mean to tell you. Can't beat any of that. This is a nice little Guilford, and it lost a tip a little bit, but I'm not complaining about anything. Mercy. Especially with this smoking Guilford right here. Whew. Some good artifacts. So let's go down here, see what we can pick up, deal with the mud a little bit, and I'm actually just finally getting to what I call the hot area of Notchville, and I found those down the other way. And really appreciate everybody just tuning in, turning for whatever reason, many reasons. And you notice in the last Join the Hunt, there was no political interest comments. You know, I was beating myself up because I didn't even make comments based on the North American Indian themselves. And as we go down here, don't mind me, we're going to hunt together. Go back up. I think there's at least an awesome ear in the ground. Awesome ear in the ground. So when I'm looking at all this quartz, bear with me because we're going to check some stuff as we go. And the reason I said that about the North American Indian is because really, oh mercy, I'm seeing a lot. It just blows my mind. And you'll know why I say oh mercy if we make some finds. Like this one looks like a find. Live finds. This is a good place here at Notchville because it puts out notch points, of course, and it puts out Guilfords, which that is. Little leaf Guilford point. Quiet on the set. Discovered. This point here, it's a Guilford round, a Guilford straight base. Now, hadn't been seen in 4,000 or 5,000 years. Now that right there will make you quiet. Live find. Doesn't look as good dirty, but tell you what, that's a nice point. I can't even get a good focus on this to give you an idea of the point, because it's a nice point. Let's pocket that one and keep on going. There's a lot of stuff around here. It's just frightening because some of the points that I would consider my absolute favorite points. Fuzziness. I hate this focus thing. I'm going to figure out how to get this thing to do automatic focus for me as we go on, but I'm going slow down here and then we're going to go back out. I was just getting, of course, distracted. You'd be distracted here, whether you're sinking up to your knees or ankles in mud or whether points are popping up out of the ground. It's a sacred place to be. Sacred place to be. Last video, we found some smokers on there on Join the Hunt with Indian Trace. And look at that. That's a base right there. See that? Happens right there in front of you. we found some smokers. But the mention, the advocacy for the North American Indian, I was thinking while I was walking just a little while ago, what I missed out on sharing, what I missed out on maybe inspiring or motivating or stirring up people to think about out there when it comes to these artifacts, when it comes to the North American Indian. That I pursue, that probably if you're tuning in here, if you're watching these videos, you pursue just getting a grasp and understanding of who they were. That's a huge thing. You know, and I ask myself, well, I advocate, and I often make political interest comments. And when I do, look at that. That is a hammerstone. When I do, I'm doing it because I'm bringing into my mind and thinking, okay, if I go to the most tangible, most recent support, advocacy, if you will, of the North American Indian, who would it be? I'd say to myself, well, it would be Russel Means or Pearl Means. And I'm just looking at pieces as we go along here. And I'd ask myself, what has Russel said plainly that would be the most important thing to do for the North American Indian today in today's world? Sure, saving these artifacts are great. These artifacts are not connected to modern or historic period Indians. These go back sometime before that, that's for sure, to the Stone Age, before the age of iron, before the age of all of our modern conveniences. Before that age was introduced to the Stone Age Indian, which completely changed their life. We're talking about gunpowder. We're talking about things like metal that they didn't even conceive of because they were in the Stone Age, introducing iron and brass, and it's just craziness. Now they had some copper in the Mississippian period that they were smelting in the whole 9 yards, but nothing like when the when the settlement began to happen and trading began to happen. If I'm distracted, don't mind me. We're in Notchville. Any step you take here, and we're out here together, all bets are off. You just might as well find an artifact. It's a good place. 1, 2, okay. Now, let's see here. Looking at my time, it's a great sight, isn't it? All right, let's go back up here. Well, let's see. What was I saying? Yeah, so Russel Means, you can go ahead, put it in a YouTube search bar and push Russel Means or Pearl Means and Russel Means. Listen to a lot of things he says. If we could do anything now, what would we do if we wanted to support the North American Indian today? Well, it's something I've been trying to do because he's inspired me to do that. If I love the North American Indian, if I'm out here to save and to help people get stirred up about their memory, it would be to be active, to be politically confrontational to a system that is either corrupt or evil, to not be afraid of it, to speak truth to falsity, to speak good thoughts in the best ideas to backwards ideas that look to enslave. And he knew what he was talking about. He advocated for the modern North American Indian reservations, Pine Ridge, you name it. And they are complete disasters. Why? Because the government has been trying to run healthcare. The government's been trying to run a whole bunch of their needs, of which they promised that they would take care of as long as they could have all of their land, all of the good land. Well, we'll cover everything you need, your food, your shelter, and when it comes time, your healthcare needs. Every single one of these promises and treaties, I mean, you probably know, were broken. So Russel Means then came to forefront and started to advocate for the North American Indian. Started to promote people's understanding dynamically. He just recently passed on. And I take that to heart. So I start to be politically active, along with many, many, many others, because there is a movement that's going on across the nation, a movement that promotes freedom, the best ideas, that speaks truth to political elites who think that they can enslave us and make us happy and make us content, make us without the desire to be self-sufficient, to be dynamic or creative or inventive, which is all a waste. So advocating every day for the North American Indian, or when I can, or putting up a political interest link about modern politics or political interest, is because I am honoring Russel Means. It's because I'm honoring the North American Indian, and it's not for any other reason. I'm looking here. Okay, let's look here. We'll find something. There's something sticking up. And the wind, when I pass this corner, the wind always starts picking up. My gracious. As we finish up here, I'm going to fall down. That's what I saw. Right here. Look at all this water. Doesn't bother me, as I go right in it. You hear it? It's just mud. It's not real cold here in North Carolina. So let's check this out. Right, Crystal Notch Point at Notchville. Why not? Whew. That's why we call it Notchville. Mercy. What a powerful day. It begins again, right? Whew. Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. And as you can see, all this right here. Mercy, with this added to it. Well, that's Indian Trace. And then one of my favorites right here, since Guilford. Mercy. Hope you find out there.